computer. Nama Om Vishnu Padhaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pachanime Nivasesha Sunyavadi Pashtatar Satarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sari Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. I like to position a camera so that you can see Lord Nrsingadev behind me.
Oh yes. You know, I was thinking, Kim, maybe you could do the link early and send it to me, and they're so used to getting the link early, they just otherwise get spaced out. What do you say?
Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sari Gaura Bhakta-vrinda. So we're continuing Harinam Chintamani, and this is the last chapter, confidential, let's get the title, confidential, the bhajan of confidential worship. And we made quite headways into this chapter. I didn't think we got so far, unless anyone else has a bookmark, but here.
Yeah, it's pages are different, and mine one says advancement in hearing, chanting, and remembering. The order of discipline.
How does the paragraph read?
The order of discipline.
Oh yeah, okay, great. So that's where we are. I just bookmarked
one more paragraph up.
Perhaps I'll have a go at reading while you're trying to sort out what's going on there. Yeah. Okay. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai, Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. The order of discipline or sadhana krama is as follows. The introspective devotee must at first discard all 10 offenses and simply meditate on the holy name, trying to chant constantly. He should distinctly pronounce the holy name and meditate upon the transcendental sound vibration. When his chanting is clear, steady, and blissful, he should try and meditate on the Shama Sundara form of the Lord. Someone else. Hare Krishna, welcome, Mother. Sorry, bit of confusion. Anyway, we've just started, read a couple of sentences. He should distinctly pronounce the holy name and meditate upon the transcendental sound vibration. When his chanting is clear, steady, and blissful, he should try to meditate on the Shama Sundara form of the Lord. While chanting, beads in hand, his chanting and meditation should seek out the transcendental form of the holy name. He will indeed see with spiritual vision the real meaning the name represents. Okay, so you're being asked here, or we're being asked, this is specific steps in chanting. So the first stage, which takes some time to master actually, is to chant clearly. What does it say here? To pronounce the holy name correctly. You'll be surprised how many devotees don't chant the holy name correctly. Yeah. So we should make sure we are chanting all the syllables, and we're pronouncing the holy name correctly. As there's many different devotees given. Sometimes they give class and they speak about the incorrect chanting. Hare Krishna, Hare Shlam, 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 Hare Krishna, Shnik, 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 Shnik. Shnikaram, 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 Shnik, Shnik, Shnik. Sometimes it can be heard like that. But it should.
They'll keep thinking at 6 o'clock.
Anyway, okay. Might be 6 o'clock just to confuse for next week. But welcome those who are coming in. Sorry for the this or the timings, but 5 o'clock is normally Thursday time. It might change, but I should let you know. But we've just read one paragraph at the moment. I will just highlight it. We just read this paragraph here, and it's quite significant because it's describing different stages. One, we should chant clearly and pronounce the Maha Mantra, every syllable of the Maha Mantra. And then it says when the chanting is clear, steady, and blissful. So that means you have relative control of the mind. Not completely. The mind may sometimes go here and there, but through practice, you can happily chant 16 rounds, and it's kind of effortless. It's not a war anymore. You're not at war. You kind of, it's a pleasant experience. You're just chanting and you're meditating and you're hearing a name. And then it's mentioned here, once you can get to that stage, chanting 16 rounds with joy, and it's clear and it's steady, and you have relative control of the mind to a large degree, then you can meditate on the Shama Sundara form of the Lord. So, sometimes it's misunderstood that you have to wait until the form of the Lord just manifests. It will at very, very advanced stage of Sudanam, but here it's been described that the practitioner, you should try to meditate as you're chanting the Maha Mantra very clearly. You're trying to meditate on the form of the Lord. Here it says Shama Sundara, but for us it may be Radha Londonishvara, or some of you Radha Gokulananda, or some of you, your deities at home. Yeah, that's what it says here. So with chanting beings in hand, and chanting and meditation should seek out the transcendental form of the holy name. So the transcendental form of the holy name is Shama Sundara, is Krishna. That's the transcendental form of the holy name. Yeah. That's a particular practice for those who've been chanting for a good few years. Yeah. All right. Any questions on that? Oh. I make that point specifically because sometimes I was speaking to, I think I mentioned it briefly, I was speaking to a devotee and who's been chanting a good number of years. And he was under the impression that Krishna is going to appear in one's mind without any effort. No, we have to make the effort to actually think of Krishna. Yeah. When we're chanting. But that chanting should be of a particular quality to actually do that. You know? Some of you might be doing that already. Or Krishna's lotus feet. Yeah, maybe his lotus feet. Name, fame, yeah. Our name, form, qualities and pastimes. So at least the form. This is a meditation on the form. But continuing reading here, if you've got any questions or comments, please, you can ask. Another method he may employ to see the form of the Lord is to sit in front of the deities, drink the beautiful form of the Lord with his eyes, and meditate upon the holy name. Even after reaching the stage where the holy name and the form of the Lord become one, he must try to remember the transcendental qualities of Lord Krishna. The holy name and the qualities of Krishna must merge through constant chanting. All right? So we used the frightening word called merge. That's not like the Mayavad concept of merge. Now this is interesting as well because there's two different levels of this. The first level is where you actually have your eyes open and you're chanting and you're meditating upon the form of the Lord. Another is where your eyes are closed. And that takes a little bit more deeper meditation because you're bringing the form of the Lord, or you're remembering the form of the Lord within your meditative mind. You understand the difference? that one's considered to be more, my guru, Shiva Ram Swami speaks about this somewhere in Sudha Bhakti Chintamani. That's considered to be a more, slightly more advanced or ability where you can, okay, you take darshan of the Lord, then you can close your eyes and you can meditate on the form of the Lord while you're chanting. And then here it's going to mention about, as we've mentioned about meditating on the form, then there's the qualities are mentioned here. So to meditate upon the qualities of the Lord, you have to know what the qualities are. So that means you're going to read the qualities of the Lord. For example, giving in a nectar of devotion. Yeah, just 64 qualities are given there in a nectar of devotion. So that could come under like specific reading or focused reading, where you're reading about the qualities of the Lord. So devotee at this stage here, they will be familiar with the qualities of Krishna. And it says here, they will try to remember the transcendental, here, after reaching this stage where the holy name and the form of the Lord become one. So that doesn't mean ekatvam, the Mayavad concept of one, because the holy name is non-different from Krishna, and Krishna is non-different from the holy name. So you're chanting the holy name is bringing Krishna into your meditation, or you are meditating upon Krishna. And you and devotees will have the realization of the oneness and the non-difference between the holy name and Krishna. Yeah, that's a fundamental aspect of the philosophy of chanting, is that the holy name is non-different from Krishna. So this is how that is realized. Yeah. But then, so one must remember the transcendental qualities of Lord Krishna. The holy name and the qualities of Krishna must merge through constant chanting. All right, I hope we haven't misunderstood that. Yeah. It's the same. It is non-different. All right, any questions about that? So we just discussed meditating upon the form and the qualities, and then the qualities of the Lord.
Is it that we think that Krishna is a Karuna Sindhu, and then the holy name has that Karuna for us to be able to purify our minds?
Yeah, and a purified mind means you'll be able to remember Krishna. Yeah. But actually, if you try and do this before your mind is sufficiently purified, the doors will be locked. You won't be able to. We have to go through a certain level of purification. You know, if the heart, if the mind is not purified, then we won't be able to invoke the form of the Lord within the mind or his qualities. Yeah. But as we become purified, then we will be able to one degree or another go into more of a deeper level of chanting. Yeah, and for instance, Karuna Sindhu, you could meditate on this quality of Krishna as being very merciful. Yeah, so you meditate on that quality of his being very merciful. Again, but it should be done when the chanting is very clear, the syllables are all being pronounced nicely, and you're chanting steadily. You're not overly distracted. Yeah. So, okay, I'll read the next one. You can guess where the next one's going. It's going even a bit higher. All right. Next, he goes on to the practice the remembrance of Krishna's pastimes. Okay, these will be pastimes that facilitate meditation upon the holy name. The Leela Smaranam or pastime meditations also gradually become one with the holy name, form, and qualities of the Lord. At this point, the first rays of Nam Ras, or the transcendental mellow of the holy name, dawn on the horizon of perception. Progressively, the devotee's practice of Leela Smaranam intensifies to the point where he begins to meditate on the most confidential pastimes of the Lord, known as Ashtakaliya Leela. Devotees are still coming in. 1 second. Or the eightfold pastimes of Radha and Krishna. So welcome those who are just joining us. Hare Krishna. Sorry, time a bit wrong. So we discussed this yesterday, isn't it? So what stage is this where one comes to the point of can meditate upon the confidential pastimes of Ashtakaliya Leela? We mentioned it yesterday. I'm not sure got it. Sorry? A Shakti. Someone said a Shakti up there?
Yes, I think so. I think
Yeah, that's it, a Shakti.
Yeah.
So this, we have Nam Nishta Ruchi, a Shakti Bhava.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where you have a magnetic natural attraction for Krishna, his name for qualities and pastimes. At the moment, we have a magnetic attraction for mundane things. But hopefully, at some point it should transform. All right. So this is Leela Smaranam. Let's just finish this paragraph. When his meditation reaches maturity, rasa, and we describe rasa, isn't it? There's different constituents of rasa, that's the nectar of devotion. Rises in full glory. I'll just read this paragraph here, then we'll stop for any comments. Ashtakaliya Leela Smaranam is also known as Rasiki worship. Okay, let's read this, then we'll comment on it. Lord Krishna manifests himself according to the time and place of the pastime being meditated upon. Now the devotee realizes the full grace of his spiritual master, who in his eternal spiritual form, Siddha Sarup, guides the disciple to a Saki or Gopi, who in turn introduces him into the pastimes of the Lord. Of all the gopis, Srimati Radharani, the daughter of King Rishabhanu, is the acme of excellence. She embodies the highest spiritual sentiment, Mahabhav. Serving under her leadership is the most sublime spiritual experience. Okay, so we just gone from very quickly to very, very advanced stages of Krishna consciousness, Siddha Sarup. Yeah, but this Swarasiki, there's two types of meditation by these advanced devotees. One, I forget the name of it, but it might come to mind. But there's one where one's meditating upon a frame picture of Krishna within the mind. Yeah, one's just meditating on say maybe a particular picture or the deity. And in your meditation, you're just meditating upon Krishna. So that's one type of meditation. Another type of meditation is this Swarasiki meditation, where you're meditating upon the unfolding pastimes of the Lord. Yeah. One is meditating upon Krishna or Radharani, for example, coming to cook for Krishna. Then one's meditate upon her, coming with her manjaris, they're coming and meditating on Mother Yasoda, greeting Radharani, and then Radharani preparing to cook for Krishna, and then Krishna is stealing glances at Radha, like that. While chanting japa, yeah, one is meditating on the unfolding pastimes of Ashtakaliya Leela Smaranam. So that's very advanced. That's what we're aspiring for. Any questions on this?
God, it's a lot to do. Chant, hear, meditate on the form.
Yeah,
I'm not saying you do it. I'm just saying, it's a lot to get there.
Yeah, so but the first stage is here. The first stage is here. This is the first stage, right here. Yeah. Then this is the second stage here. least we can start from here. Let's try and get our chanting to a steady, so it's clear, steady, and blissful. Yeah, and then we can go here, meditating upon the form. Yeah. Of course, all this means we're free from the 10 offenses. None of this will happen if we're making offenses. Yeah, we will not get to this stage. Yeah. So, I can't comment much more on this. That's a very elevated state. As I was saying in the beginning, this is now the devotee realizes the full grace of the spiritual master in his eternal spiritual form, guides the disciple in a Saki or Gopi. All right. Let's read on. The five. Yeah, please. If anyone would like to read, you please can put your hand up.
Can
Yes.
I was thinking that, these pastimes, you can like meditate on, not when you're chanting, like you can remember these pastimes, some of them,
Well,
during the day.
Vaishnavas don't do that. Vaishnavas don't meditate without the holy name.
Right.
When you can, there's no one stopping you. You can just, wherever you are, you can close your eyes and meditate upon pastimes. But actually, it's always done with the holy name. And it's a lot easier with the holy name because the holy name is like non-different. But generally, you're not going to, whenever you hear descriptions of meditation upon the holy name and pastimes, the Vaishnavas will not be sitting down in silence.
Oh, no.
Always be the name will be on their tongue. Yeah, the name will be on their tongue, and then everything else is going on, is going on, this Leela Smaranam. Yeah. I mean, you can meditate on the pastimes when you read about the pastimes.
Yeah, that's what I meant. You read, when you listening to class, then you can like, oh, that fits in with that or something like that,
Yeah. Yeah. So you can try it. I mean, many of you have been chanting many years. Some of you might have some meditation, but just try it. When you're chanting, the Maha Mantra, you're chanting it clearly, and you're 4, 5, 8 rounds like that. Or just try it. Meditate in the form of Radha Landineshwara. Yeah. And see how we go. Meditate upon the lotus feet, and see how long you can hold the meditation. It'd be good just to see where you are and make sure that you're still chanting very clearly.
That's why I like to take darshan of them in the morning before I kind of start chanting. I mean, I start chanting earlier, but I still want to, at Mangalarti, take their proper darshan.
Yeah, sound like Baba Chandravali does that. It's like you can meditate on what the Lord is wearing.
Actually, the camera goes onto the feet, so you can kind of remember the lotus feet quite a bit.
Yeah. Let's check. There's lots of noises going on. People coming in. Yeah. All right. Any questions? Yeah, Nimai Mata. Any question?
There's a new. Sorry, Mali Prabhu. Kumari Priya.
Kumari Priya.
Anubhav's wife.
Oh, okay. Hare Krishna, mother. I know. I always wondered who that was. Hare Krishna. Now I know.
She wants to participate a lot more, so we just need to encourage her to be able to speak.
Yeah. Please, Baba. Please, any questions you have, or you can do some reading. Thank you for joining us. You're joining us at quite an advanced stage here, Harinam Chintamani. But we can try that. Devotees, try the meditation. Simple thing. Try and meditate in the form of the Lord. Let's just read this next paragraph. The 5 main rasas of spiritual mellows are Shanta, neutrality, Dasya, servitorship, Sakya, friendship, Vatsalya, parenthood, and Shrinkara or Madhurya, conjugal love. Of these, Shringara is the highest. Devotees eligible to enter the conjugal rasa are the intimate followers of Sri Krishna Chaitanya. In this rasa, Lord Krishna has many utestfuries of female groups, but everyone prefers Srimati Radharani. She is the direct manifestation of Lord Krishna's Sarup Shakti, or spiritual potency, and all other and all the other Raj Gopis are her expansions. She is the absolute embodiment of all the rasas. It is therefore essential that a rasika devotee enrolls in her yuta or group. Service to Lord Krishna in Raj is impossible without first taking shelter of the Raj Gopis. One should enter Srimati Radharani's camp and serve directly under Lalita Devi. Okay, so there's your instruction. You should enter Radharani's camp and serve under Lalita Devi. Right, so these things will be, hopefully at some point, these will be the questions we'll be asking our respective spiritual guides. Because the inspirations will come from the mercy of the holy name and the devotees. So then you may be attracted, you may be quite overwhelmed in your attraction. But then you want to make sure and get the blessings for such a meditation from your guides, from senior devotees, and they will question if they may guide you to someone, but generally they will question, so they will say, so what do you think about when you're chanting? What's going on for you when you chant? And you tell them, be honest, Then they will give instructions. But here, this is a very advanced stages. This is, I would say this is bhava. This now we've gone past the Shakti. I would say this is coming up to the seed of prema, which is bhava. Yeah. All right, let's probably have someone else read. We'll ask Mother Chandravali, you can read. Again, if there's any questions on this, and something is clarifying.
Prabhu, I was wanting to ask something at the earlier
Yes.
when you stopped. Prabhu, this meditation, can it should come effortlessly? It is not that is that right, Prabhu? Because
Yeah, this is what perhaps you joined us a bit late, but this needs to, because here,
yeah,
basically, you do have, like, once you're at this stage,
yeah,
what's in yellow, okay? You can distinctly pronounce and chant the holy name. It is clear, steady, and blissful. So in other words, 16 rounds for you is just easy. It's not a war anymore. You can happily chant 16 rounds, and you steadily chant. So what's being asked is that you should then try to meditate upon the form of the Lord while you're chanting. It's not going to happen unless you actually try to meditate on the Lord. Okay, I mean, it will do it. The advanced stages here, this is like Sudanam, and like the curtains are drawn back completely, and you're practically there in the spiritual world. But this is called, see, this is called Raganuga Sadhana, the practice of more spontaneous devotional service. So it's not, that's why I might be corrected, but as far as I understood from the study of my Guru Maharaj's books and what's being explained here, and as I explained in a conversation I had with one devotee who's been chanting many years, if you just chant and you don't make an effort to actually think of Krishna's form, then you won't be able to think of Krishna. It's you're expecting too much. If you're expecting Shakshat Darshan, Krishna's going to come himself and manifest within the lotus of your heart while you're chanting. All right. I mean, you could be waiting a long time. So you have to go to Krishna. So when you can chant, when you've been chanting many years, then this is a type of practice which you can try. When the chanting is clear, then you meditate upon your Ishtadev. Is that clear, Nima?
Oh, yes.
Now, one point, sorry, just jumping in here. One point that's going to be sometimes misunderstood, because if someone, like if there's a class and someone asks, what should I meditate while I chant? And whenever Prabhupada was asked that question, what should I meditate upon when I chant? You're going to get a general answer. You're going to get, the answer is, which is correct, if it's a general gathering of devotees, you should meditate upon the holy name.
Yeah.
But when you're alone, when you're with an advanced devotee and they're advanced in chanting, they're gonna, when you say, that's different, they're going to ask you, okay, so what's your meditation? What are you attracted to? So there's a general answer which is correct. So that's why when devotees who first start chanting, when they say, what shall I meditate upon? Then the obvious answer is you meditate upon the holy name. Don't speculate. Don't try and artificially, because it's not natural at the beginning stages. But when one has been chanting 10, 15, 20, 25 years, I mean, that's a lot of purification. And I've been doing devotional service for that long. You should be trying to meditate upon the form of the Lord.
All right. Yes.
Murli Prabhu, can I ask you something?
Please. Yes.
As you had so much experience and you got a lot of association with senior devotees, when do you chant and how do you feel yourself about this question you were saying? So you're meditating yourself, and is there any way that you get satisfaction of Radha Landanishwar, or what's your experience?
Well, I have to say here, I don't like to say, but all I can say is I'm trying to meditate upon the holy name.
Okay, thank you.
I don't want to. Yeah, it's confidential.
Yeah, I know. I understand. I do understand.
Confidential.
So,
But these, but
I was thinking,
but let me say one thing. Let me just try to say one thing. Sometimes I try and meditate upon the form of the Lord, like that, at least that. And the rest I show. It should be keep.
Because I do see in the morning when you're sitting or just observe, and which I really admire. That's every morning.
I'm trying my best. Yes, Nitai Mata.
Prabhu, holy name, as we were talking, Mother Chandravali also saying, holy name, if you see holy name as a personality.
Yeah, the holy name is Krishna.
Yeah.
Krishna
So this is what I think Mother was thinking and asking. Holy name is then that is the kind of personality. Is that right, Mother? That's what he was asking, isn't it? Holy name is Krishna. It's not about a meditation I don't know how to say this, honestly.
Yeah, well, I think it was explained here. It was described here. The holy name and qualities, the holy name and qualities of Krishna merge through constant chanting. So that means it becomes realized at this point that Krishna is the holy name, and the holy name is Krishna. There is no difference, and it's realized through the chanting process.
A Lord's kindness would be something which we would easy to understand maybe at this stage. Is that right, Prabhu?
You mean the quality of kindness?
Yeah, because a holy name and the quality of Krishna, so Lord's kindness will be something
Yeah,
easy.
I understand. Yeah, of course. I mean, that's the whole chapter of the holy name. It's Krishna who's come in an audible form. Like it's the best way to come in this age of Kali. Yeah, that's the Hava. That's the topic. But let's read on a bit. I just want a quick check.
One little bit. Chanting, right? So when one's chanting well and trying to hear it properly, then you should also learn to meditate on the form of your Ishtadev.
Maybe Ishtadev.
You have to
Yeah. Then the qualities of the Lord. Then the qualities.
Yes, yes, you have to make an effort. It's like when somebody sits back and says, oh, I'm so full, I'm so full, I'm so contaminated, I've got enough. They don't make an effort to like rise above that. It's like that. I was thinking to myself,
Yeah.
we have to make an effort. Is that right?
That's it. Yeah. Like here we're being told the different stages of Nam Rasa. So we should be enthusiastic to want to get to these different stages. So you might try out the stage of meditate upon Krishna's form while chanting. But again, it takes purity of heart. If it's too difficult, and if it's just not coming and it's too difficult, then don't worry. Just meditate upon the sound vibration and pray to Krishna. You know, and then try again.
Yeah,
it may not come.
Something you cleared up for me was really good. You said that, you know, when that we've all told to just, like early, Prabhupada would just say, if anybody asks questions, he would say, just chant in here, chant in here.
Yeah, chant in here.
So, like, I was thinking that, yeah, but you made it a bit clearer that, yes, it's there, chant in here, but you also then have to make an effort.
Yeah, that's a general instruction.
Yeah, that really cleared up.
Yeah, I remember Guru was speaking about this in one class he gave at the manor. So he says, so his answer, well, who's asking? Who's asking the question? You know, if it's someone who's been chanting for 2 months or 3 months, you know, okay, what's the answer going to be? If someone's been chanting for 30 years, it's going to be a different answer. You know? Who's asking the question? Yeah. All right. Okay, you can read Mother Chandravali. Let's go deeper, shall we? Gone right in the deep end. We're swimming around.
The main point you cleared up has really, it just made me feel so great now.
Great. Okay. Excellent.
When material coverings are removed, the spiritual goal is achieved. Okay. In the discipline in the discipline of rasa, sadhana, practice, the bhajan siddhi, perfection of worship, move into near proximity of one another. Thus the wide gap between them closes. In a short time, the servitor's spiritual form begins to take shape. By the mercy of the Yuteshwari, he is quite easily overpowered by attraction to Lord Krishna. This strong spiritual attraction eliminates the gross and subtle material concept of his form that was caused by his turning away from Krishna. Thus the jiva gains entrance into Raj in his original spiritual form. Up to this point, the jiva's progress in spiritual life can be framed in words. Beyond it, his relationship with the Lord is indescribable. It can also be perceived by your grace, Lord Chaitanya. Shingar Ras is the most brilliant Ras because in the spiritual world, this Ras outshines every other relationship. By adopting the Bhauma Vraj Ras or the Vraj Ras available on this material plane in Vrindavan Dham, one becomes eligible to obtain the Shingar Ras. Sri Ramana Roy said, as recorded in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, therefore, one should accept the mood of the gopis in their service. In such a transcendental mood, one should always think of the pastimes of Shri Radha and Krishna. After thinking of Shri Radha and Krishna and their pastimes for a long time, and after getting completely free from material contamination, one is transferred to the spiritual world. There, the devotees attain an opportunity to serve Shri Radha and Krishna as one of the gopis. Unless one follows in the footsteps of the gopis, he cannot attend the service of the lotus feet of Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj. If one is overcome by knowledge of the Lord's opulence, he cannot attend the Lord's lotus feet, even though he is engaged in devotional service. The devotee who is...
Yeah, any questions about, I guess it's different. Perhaps we can't much relate to these stages, so there might not, there's not many questions. Just got to hear it. But again, this is obviously, let's go back to nectar devotion. So this type of attainment or this type of practice is definitely not for someone who's not steady, who's not reached a level of nishta. Yeah, minimum. Yeah, So this is Nishta, Ruchi, Shakti, and Bhava. Yeah. Anyway, you can carry on.
The devotee who is naturally inclined to cultivate the conjugal rasa must accept the superior guidance of Raj Gopi. The jiva is not entitled to serve Krishna in conjugal mellow as a male. Pure devotional service to Lord Krishna at its best is possible only in the form of Raj Gopi. One can become a Raj Gopi when 11 transcendental sentiments adorn the heart. They are one. Sambandha, relationship.
Yeah, I just stop here because something we highlighted in the previous class. So this is obviously a very, very advanced stage of perfection, of the stages of perfection, achieved by a purified soul by the grace of Guru and Gauranga. So you can imagine the chaos, or you can imagine when someone is trying to meditate, to imagine these stages when they're not even past anartha nivritti, when their hearts are full of unwanted things and they're trying to artificially meditate, for instance, on these 12, these are the 12, 12, I forget the name of it, there's a technical word for it, but these are the 12 moods of a Raj Gopi. So remember we had that conversation about the Radhakund Babajis? So when one gets initiated, supposedly by Radhakund Babaji, they will be given these 12 things to meditate upon. They will be told this is called Siddha Pranali, where you get given the Guru will give you a Raj Gopi to actually meditate upon, and that's supposed to be your Siddha Sarup. Now, it's not an unbona fide process. You will find it given by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to some of his associates. I think one of them was Narahari Thakur, I might be mistaken there. And there's some writings about that as well. But remember we had the conversation of comparing the Radhakund Babajis to the line of Bhaktisiddhanta. So Bhaktisiddhanta identified very correctly that who's qualified to actually do this in this day and age. What guru is qualified to assign your Siddha Sarup? So just to take you back to remember that, but it all can be realized. Actually, it's done through the medium of the holy name. Can reveal everything. Did you follow me there? I'm just highlighting where some people go wrong. So these are stages that are revealed to a pure-hearted soul, through grace and mercy. But some people will artificially try to a gate crash into this level of meditation with disastrous results. Yeah, you follow that?
It is revealed by his spiritual master, right?
It can be revealed by the spiritual master. It can be revealed by the holy name. It can be revealed in a number of different ways, but it's something which has to be, it's not something that you can go to at this level. It's something that comes down to you.
Yeah, that's where I was trying to understand about, when I was asking you about Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj's last class, when I was talking about that.
Yeah.
Trying to find out, he could see his Siddha Swarup.
Yeah. So like the earlier stage, like for instance, when a chanting is clear and you try and meditate upon the form of the Lord, that's something you can go to. You can try. But this isn't something you can go to. It's something that has to be shown to you.
This is total. We're talking about receiving mercy. Is that right, Prabhu?
Yeah, big dose of it.
I like that big dose of it.
A big dose of mercy.
So do only the endeavor And if our endeavor is 100%,
Yeah, our
and
endeavor is sincere. Endeavor is sincere. Let's just use that. Sincere.
yeah, okay,
We're just
okay.
sincere. Yeah.
Okay.
And so let's. Okay, you can continue, Mother Chandravali, just on these. Forget the technical name for these.
Name.
Yeah, go on.
One can become a Raj Gopi when 11 transcendental sentiments adorn the heart. They are 1, Sambandha, relationship; 2, Bhayasa, age; 3, Nam, name; 4, Rupa, form; 5, Yuta, Pravisha, entrance into a group; 6, Vesha, attire; 7, Agna, permission, yes; 8, Vasastana, place of residence;
Yeah.
6, service; 10, Parakasta, excellence; 11, Palyadasi Bhav, the mood of a kept maidservant of Krishna. The devotee may be in a worldly form, but he must cultivate these 11 sentiments and perform bhajan.
Yeah,
Can
just again, remember I mentioned at the beginning that the Harinam Chintamani, especially this section, it has to be understood in context, because what Bhaktivinoda Thakur is describing here, he is describing Siddha Pranali here. Yeah. The devotee may be in a worldly form, but he must cultivate these 11 sentiments and perform bhajan properly. So this has been adjusted by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And it's interesting as well that Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in his writings, he actually reveals he is Kamala Manjari. So all this has been revealed to him. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains, we can perhaps understand, we can, what's the word? We can conclude that this was given to him by the holy name. It wasn't a Radhakund Babaji, because who was qualified above Thakur? This was all revealed through the holy name. And interesting as well is that, do you remember that pastime where Narada Muni becomes a gopi?
That's what I was going to ask you
Yeah.
just now, yeah.
And then they ask him, okay, so what village you come from? Who's your group leader? And he didn't know. He just appeared as a gopi. He didn't know what service he had. He didn't know where he place of residence. He didn't, perhaps he had the attire, but he didn't know what group he was in. So then they guessed, this is, I forget.
New gopi.
Yeah, sorry, you're not the real thing.
That's exactly what my question was going to be, because I was coming to that point.
About Narada Muni.
Well, how a new gopi goes and then connected it to one of the friends of the gopis, whatever, and then it says, Sakhi, where do you come from? Which village? Which?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So that's what I was. I was relating that with this.
Yeah. Yeah. So these things will be known before.
How did Lord Shiva get in?
Sorry?
Sorry. How did Lord Shiva get into the Rasa dance when he transformed into a free-eyed gopi? I wonder how he answered all those questions.
I don't know. Someone knows that pastime? I vaguely remember it, but I don't know the details, I'm afraid. He actually is there as the protector, isn't it, of the Ras Leela? Gopishvara.
No, he wanted to take part, so he had to go for austerities, bathe in a kund to turn into a gopi, but he got discovered by Krishna because he had 3 eyes. He was a 3-eyed gopi.
And also he was very tiny, isn't it? He was not like other gopis, I think.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I don't know the pastime, but yeah, so he tried to get in there, tried to gate crash, but he couldn't. Wasn't he able to take part in Rasa Leela?
Yes, but Krishna said the mood is different, as if there is a man amongst us, and he
Oh,
ordered
so
someone
yeah,
to look check the gopis, and they said everyone's a girl except one has 3 eyes.
Yeah, that's right. I remember. Yeah, Gaya.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
you're right.
therefore he wasn't allowed.
No.
Anyway, perhaps let's just finish reading this Navachandra. We've only got 3 minutes left. We might go over a couple of minutes because we started a bit later.
5 stages of consciousness in Bhav Sadhana. While cultivating these 11 gopi sentiments, 5 stages of consciousness develop. They are 1. Shravandas, the stage of hearing. 2. Varnadas, the stage of acceptance. 3. Smarandas, the stage of remembrance. Aparnadas, stage of application. And 5. Sampatidas, stage of inheritance. Srila Ramananda Rai.
This is mentioned in the Nectar of Instruction, in one verse there. Carry on. Mother. Yeah.
Sri Ramananda Rai says, as quoted in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, one who is attracted by the essence of the gopis does not care about the regulative principles of Vedic life or popular opinion. Rather, he completely surrenders unto Krishna and renders service unto him. In this liberated stage, the devotee is attracted by one of the humors, rasas, in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. As he continues to serve the Lord in that mood, he attains a spiritual body to serve Krishna in Goloka Vrindavan. So saying, Sri Ramananda Rai instructed us to first attain the form and mood of Rajgopi in order to obtain service in the conjugal mood. When a sadhaka devotee, having heard about Lord Krishna's pastime, is attracted to the conjugal mellow, he should take further instructions on ras from a realized saintly spiritual master. This is called the stage of hearing or shravandas. When the sadhaka devotee anxiously and eagerly accepts the conjugal mellow, varnadas commences. Then by pure remembrance of the sentiments of ras, he desires to practice them. He then reaches the third stage, smarandas. When he is able to perfectly invoke these sentiments of ras, he attains apanadas or praptidas. Finally, when he can separate himself from all his temporal material designation and is steadily fixed in that original spiritual identity for which he yearns, he has reached Sampatidas, the inheritance of his spiritual identity. Bhajan from Shravandas to Smarandas. If after having tested the disciple, the spiritual master determines that he is eligible to perform bhajan and serve in the Shringaras, he then confidentially informs the disciple about his eternal spiritual role as a manjari in Srimati Radharani's camp under the supervision of Sri Lalita Devi. The spiritual master teaches the disciple how to develop the 11 sentiments of the gopis, how to meditate on the Astakalya Leela, and how to be properly established in both. So that he may fully understand them, the sadhaka is shown his siddha or spiritual identity, with his spiritual name, form, quality, service, and so on. The spiritual master also discloses to the disciple who his parents are in the sadhaka's manjari identity, which house she was born in, who her husband is, and so on. At this point, the disciple must spurn all Vedic religious pursuits and simply be a fully surrendered maidservant of Srimati Radharani, the camp leader. Thereafter, the Guru will reveal in detail the disciple's eternal service to Srimati Radharani in the Astakalya Leela. The sadhaka, now a female sadhaki, embraces these revelations in Varnadas. He enters into Smarandas when he actually remembers them on his own. And so in this way, the sadhaka takes spiritual birth as a gopi in Raj.
I think we better stop there. A bit too much for us to digest. That's enough for us to digest, I think, for 1 week. Again, just reminding you that especially this last 2 paragraphs, these here, this is called Siddha Pranali, and that's been adjusted in a present context and time. And it's done through the medium of revelation through the holy name and through service to the mission of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It's not like we have to go and find a guru and then get these type of instructions. Yeah, exactly. This will all be revealed through the medium of the holy name, and we get blessings and advice from the guru. Anyway, I'm just thinking, after this, we're going to be reading Bhagavad-Gita. Perhaps we need that. We get back. We are not this body.
But this is also good because it's opening windows in your mind.
Yeah,
Not to be like jumpy, but there is these things happen, and to feel that yes, one day you will know where you're going to be born, what's your house, what's this. It's there. We just got to get there now.
Yeah. So we should hear this topic, and we should hear these topics at least occasionally, to be reminders of the direction that we are going in.
And to make you feel that you're going on that path, that this is it. So now you got to perfect your chanting, and
we're looking forward for it as well.
Yeah, I'm just tracing. We've got a few more pages here. A few more pages.
Yeah,
Quite a few pages.
Okay, let's stop there and try and digest what we heard today. We'll continue next week. Where do we leave off? We left off here, isn't it? We're on here now.
Yeah, as a spiritual master. Yeah.
Yeah, just reading that point here. As a spiritual master discerns the pure inclination of the disciple's heart. So again, a lot of this is dependent upon purity. But let's stop there. So thank you for joining us. Sorry, some of you came a bit late. I will let you know beforehand what time the class starts. It might change next week, but I'll let you know day before at least, yeah, if there's a change in the time. And tomorrow we continue with Bhagavad-Gita. So if you have the time, please join us for that, continuing to hear about the glories of the Pandavas. That's at 6 o'clock, from 6 till 7. Okay. Jai Shri Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you, Murli Prabhu. Murli Prabhu ki jai. Murli Prabhu ki jai. Hari Bol, everyone.
Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Ram. Hare Ram.
Hare Hare.